Hey guys, welcome to Rising Vibrations. This reading is called His Point of View, the breakup. This is a retrospective per zodiac sign for a male. If a male broke up with you or you broke up with a male, it's looking at his perspective as to why you broke up. This is for time now, all the way back about 7 years, believe it or not, because I'm looking at the movements of Saturn through Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Capricorn. So watch this video if you want to know his point of view as to why you broke up. We're going to go in a bit more detail, but I'll save it for the reading. So anyway, thank you for your support. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the shares. And thank you for hanging in there with me. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. This reading is for the Virgo male. This is his point of view for a Virgo male who you broke up with or who broke up with you, who you divorced in the past 7 years up until now. His point of view as to why you broke up. I'm looking at the karmic energy associated with Saturn for the sign of Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus, especially since Venus is in retrograde. So you guys, if you want to understand from his point of view what the problem was and why he gave up on the relationship, this is your reading. Just so you understand, I wrote a book called A Fierce Bitch's Guide to Getting Over a Lying, Cheating, Sabotaging Partner. So I'm very interested from a metaphysical standpoint in these issues. So this is for Virgo, male, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Why you broke up. A retrospective, his point of view. So karmic. We have carrying. This is Cancer, Virgo energy. This is Moon, Mercury energy. This is for a Virgo male who you broke up with or who you divorced or who left you. His point of view as to, from a karmic standpoint, it feels like you let him down. In his mind, he feels like you let him down. He feels like you were not supportive enough. He feels like you honestly did not believe in him. Like he could not really count on you. He could have felt like you were using him. He could have felt like you were relying too much on him. Now, this is his point of view. Don't get it twisted. Don't think I'm attacking you. I'm just trying to tell you the Virgo male's point of view, what was in his head over the past 7 years for Virgo, 7.5, 8 years for Virgo, what was in his mind due to Saturn's movements through Libra, through Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Capricorn. Him feeling like you didn't care about him. You didn't take care of him. Now, this very well could have been something in his mind because at this time and over the past nearly decade, he could have been feeling quite vulnerable. And like he did not receive this type of nurturing energy when he was younger, and therefore even on a subconscious level, like whatever you did, it would not have been enough if he was in this place. So what happened? We're not going to take that. These cards have already been shuffled, but I'm going to give them a quick shuffle before each one, before I engage the cards. What happened? Past feelings and attitude. This is from his point of view. We have Major Arcana, Justice. So again, this is feeling like he wasn't getting what was due to him. And you having the opposite feeling, you feeling very taxed in a way, like you couldn't do enough, you could not give enough. But him taking it like, you don't want to do this for me. You don't want to help me. I can feel and I can see that your heart's not into this in a way. And him becoming very resentful about this supposed lack of support and this supposed lack of help, or a lack of appreciation for what he's done or doing for you. Like you did not appreciate what he did for you or what he does for you, taking him for granted. We have now major arcana, temperance. So we just pulled 2 major arcana on that front. Temperance, this is about balance. This is him not feeling like things are fair, things are equal. Like you're not giving him as much as he was giving you. You're not giving me as much as I give you or gave you, or you're getting more out of this than what I get out of this or what I get out of this. It's for Virgo male, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Now, you guys, I do appreciate you liking the video, and I do appreciate your comments, because when you engage the video, more people will find it, so it is appreciated. So what actions actually caused the breakup in his mind? This is what you may not know. What actually caused the breakup in his mind? What actually made him feel like, I give up, I want to leave, I want out? It's for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. We have the Page of Swords. So this can feel like something about him feeling like, especially if you discuss this with other people, if you discuss your relationship with other people, he took a heavy affront to this. He felt like if he found out that you were talking about things behind his back or with other people, he may have felt like you were talking bad about him behind his back. If he heard anything that supposedly came out of you, he really would have reacted to this, because he felt like it was a further lack of support and appreciation for him, and he felt a heavy betrayal to this. Now, this may have been quite innocent. This could have been you discussing the relationship with your family or close friends, but I feel like if he found out about this or overheard this, this was the final straw. This was really the final straw, where he felt like, okay, I'm out of this. Now, what you were discussing, it feels like to me, it was true with this justice here. It felt like you may have just been seeking advice, or what you were conveying had a foundation, or it was true, but he didn't care. He did not care. We have the Ace of Swords on his side. So this feels also in some way like a disagreement about what happened, and him really being the Virgo male being very much in sync with his feelings and opinions on this. Like he just was not open to hear your side of things. Almost feel like he really shut down and was not open to hear or listen to anything you had to say. And you trying to talk to him, and him really close to hearing your side of things, completely uninterested, because he already felt like he knew his truth and he did not want any input from you. This is what you may not know. You also may not know that somebody went behind your back and was discussing your relationship with your man, with your Taurus male. And I feel like putting something in his ear. It could have been true. It could have been a non-truth. It feels to me like someone was going back and telling him something that you said that let him know that there was some truth to it, and feeling like he could not trust you. It was huge trust issues with the Virgo. This may have been his central, even circle, karmic focus, truth, trust, during these years, feeling like this was very important. But the funny thing is I don't really feel like he was being totally truthful. Oddly enough, with this Ace of Swords here. What could have changed his mind? What could have changed his mind? Shoulda, woulda, coulda, but let's just go into it. What could have changed his mind? Now, if you want to re-engage the energy of your Taurus male, you will have a little key here. What could have changed his mind? What could have changed his mind? The Taurus male, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, a Taurus male. What am I saying? It's not for Taurus, it's for Virgo male. I gotta go back in, guys. The Virgo male, what could have changed his mind? I don't know if I said Taurus before. This reading is for Virgo. Let's call it back in. This is for Virgo. What could have changed the Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus's mind? What could have changed his mind? Virgo. We have the Ace of Coins. He felt like he needed something out of you, almost like a confession, especially if you denied doing something that he knows that you did. I feel like if you would have confessed it, now this is his side, this is his point of view, his perspective. He felt like, or it looks like if you would have confessed this to him, he would have been more open to listening to what you had to say. But I feel like there were heavy denials of some event or some situation where he had already made up his mind, or he already had some information where he was backing you in the corner. I felt like it was a situation that you were cornered on. Major Arcana, the Sun. So this is him really wanting you to confess to him, confess something, or agree to something. It can also be agree to what he wanted. He wants something out of you. He wanted something out of you that he didn't get. An agreement. Also an agreement. So we're going to pull out some final advice, and then we're going to pull two last cards to close out the energy for this. This is for Taurus, his point of view. Virgo. Why do I keep saying Taurus? It's for Virgo. His point of view for Virgo as to why he broke up and left the relationship. This is for Virgo. Virgo male. Shuffling again because of the Tauran energy that wants to come through on this. It's crazy. We have the Major Arcana, the Tower. And we have the Star. Wow, two more Major Arcanas. See, if you are someone who broke up with, or was the Virgo male broke up with you, Sun, Moon, Rising, I feel like this really tore you up. Because I feel like someone, there's like a misunderstanding somehow here, and you could not convey your side of it because he wasn't open or willing to listen to your side of things. And it may be the case that yeah, somehow you just weren't meeting his expectations. And I feel like he used this situation as an excuse to move on. In any case, I feel like someone else was involved with all of this. It was not clear that it was between you and him. I feel like other people were speaking to him about all of this and giving their opinion. I feel like other people were expressing your motivations for being in the relationship, but they were things that weren't true. So for instance, to give you a solid example, other people were saying that you were after something he had, like money, Virgo male, or you were after stability that he may have had, or you were after his looks, that you were not just in the relationship for him, you were in the relationship for other people. I feel like this is the impression that he had. He was not appreciated. But I feel like it wasn't really true. This really tore you up because it seems to me that the Virgo was dealing with someone who was coming from a place of honesty. Their intentions were in the right place, but he was in that karmic position that he could not see it that way. Now, if you are still interested in this Virgo and just healing the relationship one way or the other, and it's not totally closed, I think you should just keep being yourself in a way. Keep showing who you are. Not change it up, not try to get spiteful, not try to be rude in any way. Keep showing who you are. If he calls you for something, for help, and you want to help him, help him. Don't back away, because I feel like he will see what you were that he didn't recognize before. I feel like he's more open to this now, oddly enough. Now, these are not supposed to be reconciliation readings, guys, but this one is coming across that way for the Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising. Now, these are the final two cards for your final advice. We have the Five of Swords, oddly enough. And we have on his side, we have the Queen of Cups. Such an odd energy. Okay, look. This is once again the same message. If you did something out of character, if you did something a bit dishonest, and it feels like it was out of character, I feel like you did it because of some type of pressure. It might be good if it comes up in a conversation again. Not that you seek this out, but if it comes up in a conversation again, that perhaps you find a way to put your truth out there, like your motivations for what you did or how this happened, because it would be very well received by the Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus male at this point in his life. I feel like he's more open to hearing your side of the story, whereas before he was not. So this was the reading, his point of view, the breakup for a Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus male. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you did, leave comments, and thank you for your support. Bye-bye, guys.